Hello everyone, Muckluck Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire IV here, and this is a guide to starting your Guild Wars 2 adventure. This guide is made for those that are just starting out in Tyria. Perhaps you saw my non-award winning, non-Emmy nominated video, Why Play Guild Wars 2, explaining the appeal, and decided to download it. Or perhaps great minds think alike and you ended up here all by yourself. Or perhaps you're here at 2 a.m. James and you need to go to bed, you have a big day tomorrow. Just kidding! Imagine James' face right now though. Priceless. Step 1. Install the game. There is a download link in the description if you need it. More info on that later. Step 2. Choose your server. For every game mode except World vs. World, as long as you and your friends are both on North American servers or both on European servers, you can play together. For World vs. World only, you need to be on the exact same server in most cases. Example, I am on Gates of Madness, a North American server. I can do all content in-game with any other NA player no matter their server, but I can only do World vs. World with people also on Gates of Madness on a consistent basis. There are rotating server alliances, but let's not go into that right now. You can mail between any servers, even NA and EU, it's the same economy. Eventually, your server won't matter for World vs. World either once the Alliances patch comes out, estimated to be sometime in 2022. But at the time of this video's creation, just pick the same server as your friends for World vs. World. Step 3. Character creation. Choose your race. Now this is an unreversible decision that will forever commit every character you make after this stage to the race that you pick, and you will be unable to group with other races. I'm kidding, come back. Your race will determine your starting area and thus greatly influence your story for the first 20 levels or so. There are some racial skills, but for the most part they are replaced by your class skills, so think of this purely as a cosmetic option. Pick the one you like to look at. Gender. Cosmetic and affects your character's voice in cutscenes. There is a lot of voice acting in this game, no other effects. Class. We've got 9 classes here. 8 if you do not have the expansions. The Revenant was added in the Heart of Thorns expansion. I will touch on what each of these classes can do, as well as their 3 optional elite specializations that you can access with the expansion packs. Note, these specializations do not always make the class better, but different. You can still enjoy hundreds of hours of content and be competitive before buying the expansions if you wish. Warrior. It's a jock. It's your basic Hulk smash class if Hulk also used a freaking gun from time to time. Can elite spec into Berserker or Spellbreaker for different flavors of smash. If you like to watch animus and read mangas, you might prefer the Bladesworn, which increases their sword's power by adding gun. Guardian, aka the Blue Warrior. If you played a Paladin in other games, you would like Guardian. Has lots of beneficial auras, really likes imbuing his weapons with fire. Can elite spec into Dragon Hunter, which gives trap and bow skills. Firebrand, it can support like a cleric, but if you make him mad, he sets you on fire 20 times. Or the Willbender, which trades some power for high mobility and optional airplane noises. Meow. Revenant. Added in the Heart of Thorns, the Revenant is the last of the heavy armor options. Revenants claim to access the skills of dead heroes and use them at their disposal. Everyone else wonders if they are just schizophrenic. They have different dead heroes they can channel that give them very different strengths depending on the situation. Can elite spec into the Herald, a bursty damage version with group buffs. Renegade summons stationary spirits that buff nearby allies, similar to totems from many other MMOs. Or the Vindicator, whose motto is, what's better than 2 dead voices whispering in your head? How about 3 dead voices? Unlocking many additional skills and the ability to use Doomfist's Meteor Strike. The second row is the medium armor options. Ranger, your bow and arrow class with a pet companion to help hide how lonely we really are. Did I say we? I meant they. Can we cut that out? Can elite spec into Druid, a healer and buffer. Soul Beast can merge with your pet's soul to gain animalistic abilities such as clawing, leaping, spitting acid, getting stuck in trees, dragging your tush on the carpet, etc. Or the Untamed, allowing you to leap into the fray and swing a sledgehammer wildly like a caffeine-free diet 0-calorie berserker. Thief. A backstabbing, egomaniacal, opportunistic kleptomaniac. He goes invisible and goes stab stab, or blam blam if he likes pistols. Can elite spec into Daredevil, gains access to his staff for bonk bonk. Deadeye, he's a sniper now, upgrades blam blam into boom. Or Spectre, if they want to actually do respectable work and support their groups when not damaging enemies. Engineer. All the DPS of a glass cannon with 27 more utility options, has a plethora of gadgets and tools at his disposal, can set up turrets, throw grenades, landmines, and more, can elite spec into Scrapper, often considered tanky. The Scrapper wields a two-handed hammer and has small drones flying around him assisting, or a Hollowsmith. It's Green Lantern. He makes things out of light and beats you with them. Or a Mechanist, which spends their free time making a Gundam. Holy Necromancer. You know darn well what a Necromancer is, and you know it. He makes spooky stuff. Elite specs into Reaper to become a melee powerhouse, similar to a Death Knight from other games. Or a Scourge, likes to hang back and rain dots down on you and can guard his allies with shields of sand. Or a Harbinger, whose power is being something between a Russian and a Witcher. It throws back elixirs to power up and then fires a gun spookily. Can we say that? I married a Russian. I know a Russian when I see one. Elementalist. The Elementalist is considered a higher skill cap for a starter player, but completely possible. It's basically Aang at the start of the Avatar show and can wield one element at a time but swap between them, changing the flavor of your weapon's skills. Can elite spec into the Weaver, which is essentially Aang at the end of the Avatar show. You can do everything at once, including block, dodge, evade, reflect, attack, set enemies on fire, move around, heal yourself, cure conditions, become invulnerable, put up barriers protecting your health bar, make tea, fill out those TPS reports, balance your checkbook, and chase muck in PvP all the way back to the respawn. It can also become a Tempest, which is Uncle Iroh? Look, this metaphor is falling apart. The Tempest shoots lightning and water a lot, can heal allies quite well, and fry people. Or the Catalyst, which lays down combo fields and attacks if you want to add some seasoning to your elements. Mesmer. Basically an illusionist, except his illusions hurt. Is the Mesmer Green Lantern? Mesmers are adept at creating many clones of themselves and confusing enemies and trying to get that big damage off before the enemy figures out which one is real. Can elite spec into Chronomancer, which can time travel softly, or the Mirage, gaining even more ways of using their illusions, such as having themselves plus 3 copies appear from invisibility for an ambush. Or the Virtuoso, who trades in their clones of themselves to make clones of weapons and hurls them at people. So now that you've all chosen Ranger, you chose Ranger, right? Play with your features until you're gorgeous, and make a choice of a starting item. In the case of the Ranger, you choose your first pet. Most classes choose a piece of equipment to start with. Pick whatever you like. Pick Charming, Dignity, or Ferocity to show how your character talks in some of the dialogue options and cutscenes. I like being a Silver-Tongued Charmer myself. The next 3 options will affect your background and your main quest line up to level 30. Again, pick what you like. If you and a friend are playing together, you can pick the same background option to do the quest stages together at the same time, or pick different ones and help each other out. Pick your name, watch a fabulous cutscene about your choices, and dive into the game. Most of the controls are the same as similar MMOs, and you can change any keybind you don't like in the options. By default, you can click H to access the hero panel, which includes your equipped items, and I is your inventory. You will start out with some basic armor and a weapon. You can pick up different weapons if you want very soon. You will have 2 skills. Read at least the basic text at the top. Your one skill is essentially an auto attack. You can see that as a ranger with a longbow, it is a very long range arrow shot that does more damage the further away I am. Your 6 is... Holy Jesus. What is that? Now that is an intimidating wall of text. Your 6 is a self-healing move, but there is a nice summary at the top. The Ranger starter heal gives me and my pet a copy of each other's boons, as well as a heal for both of us. The rest of that is just a description of all the boons in the game that could possibly be copied between us. We don't have to read all that right now. I have a couple of controls tips that I will recommend to you after we get out of the tutorial area, but for now, let's have some fun. The top right of the screen has some green text, and nearby is someone with a green marker on their head. This is also visible on the mini-map in the corner and the main map, hotkey M. Green is your primary quest line. This story will weave throughout the entire game, but for now, just go talk to that person. Spoiling the story for you is not the goal of this video, so I'll give you a summary that will work for any race's newbie zone. Follow the green markers to help solve a problem. For the Norns, the problem is you are not partying hard enough. The green markers on the map will direct you. Also, if you have sweaty hands and dislike hand holding, that will end soon, so stick with me here. At the end of your short journey is an event. It may already be in progress if another brand new character has started it. Some story will happen and a big boss will appear. And these things are gorgeous. Now, it isn't a complex fight. You're level 1 after all. Take its health to 0 and keep yours above 0. Story, cutscene, reward, done with the tutorial area, and we're in the open world. At this point, you could go in any direction you choose and start roaming the world, you brave adventurer. However, stick with me if you would like to learn more from your predecessors, yeah? If you want to PvP, you can click the cross swords at the top of the screen to dive into the PvP lobby, which temporarily will make you max level with all abilities unlocked. You can try different skills, see if you like them, and decide on goals to look forward to in PvE as well. However, I imagine for most people, this will be like drinking water from a fire hose, way too much information at once. First, I recommend we change just a couple of simple controls to make your life easier. This is optional. Show all usable object names lets you see things you can interact with, sometimes even treasure or resources from very far away. Double tap to evade. Turn this off or I promise you, you will trigger this by mistake when you don't mean to. Okay, just one more jump and I'm finally done. I can do this. No, no! Bind evade, aka the dodge roll, to something else. I like to use the V key myself, but just don't be double tapping for it. Turn on auto loot so that when you click a dead enemy, you automatically vacuum up the treasure without having to click a confirmation. AoE loot on interact lets you loot multiple enemies at once if their bodies are close together. There's lots of other nice settings in there, but those are the crucial ones in my opinion to start with. Vistas. This icon is a vista. When you interact with one, you get a small cinematic view of the surrounding area. As you progress in the game, the vistas will be more challenging to access, such as higher up or on a cliff. These give experience and count toward filling your map. Tasks, aka hearts. These are like small quests in the area. When you enter an area of a task, it pops up at the top right of the screen with a list of things you can do to help. You can do anything on that list to fill the bar up. Once full, you complete it and get a reward, which includes karma, which is the purple currency. Karma is account-wide, so it will share on all your characters. Additionally, the person with the heart on their head for that area will become a merchant, and you can spend karma to buy items there if you wish. Points of interest. The square icon is a point of interest. Just walk near it to discover it and fill it in. This is a good time to point out personal waypoints. If you hold Alt and left click on the map, you can set a personal waypoint. It will then show up on the mini-map in the bottom right. This makes it easier to set yourself a place that you want to go. A waypoint. This diamond-shaped icon is a waypoint. Once unlocked, by simply getting near it, you can teleport to it at any time by clicking on it on the mini-map or the large map and paying a few coins. This is your primary mode of long-distance travel. Additionally, if you open the world map, you will start with one waypoint in each race's starter zone. If for some reason you tire of the starting zone you are in and want to try another races, you can. Just remember, your personal story questline, which is the green markers, will be in your race's lands, so you will have to go back there periodically to advance it. Underwater. You'll notice when I went underwater briefly here, all my buttons were locked. We'll come back to that. Hero challenges. The up arrow icon is a hero challenge. It's typically a stronger than normal monster or something to interact with that gives you a hero point. Hero points are used to unlock skills after reaching level 11 and setting your first utility slot. You can always use your racial skills, but in most cases, your class skills will surpass them. Click on training and you can look through the different options and work toward whatever skill you wish. Remember, you can step into the PvP lobby and try out any skill in the game before committing to it if you wish. Eventually, you'll have enough hero points to unlock them all, but the order you unlock them in can influence how much fun you're having during leveling. Here you see when I smash my new sword down, the screen shakes. You can turn off disable camera shake if you wish in the options. The scouts, which is the telescope icon, will reveal a chunk of the map. What do your elf eyes see? Here I tried to use a charge ability, Ranger Greatsword 3, to dash in a line, but it auto-targeted a nearby enemy and stopped me short. I then turned off auto-targeting in the options. Depending on your skill set, you may like it on or off, but know that it is an option. Boons versus Conditions. In Guild Wars 2, you will occasionally see references to boons and conditions. Boons are basically buffs, conditions are basically debuffs. No matter the source, they share icons to make it easier. For example, if an Elementalist sets you on fire with magic, or an engineer sets you on fire with a flamethrower, Either way, you would get a condition called burning with a flame icon. Once you've played the game for a bit, you'll be able to recognize these icons at a glance. At level 8, you will get your first underwater weapon, a trident, a harpoon gun, or a spear, and a rebreather, which replaces your head slot item underwater. Now I can go get that point of interest in the water and fight underwater should I have to. What to do with your loot. Deposit all materials by clicking this button near the top right of your inventory. You teleport all materials, which are basically items used in crafting, to your bank material storage. You could do this at any time you wish to save trips to town. When you get equipment you don't need, you can do a few things. First, when you're at a merchant, you can click the sell all junk items to turn all your gray items into cash. Then, for the remainder, you can sell it to the trading post, which is like an auction house with other players, sell to a merchant, or salvage it. Salvaging requires a salvage kit, bought from most merchants, and will give you the item's base materials for future crafting. Example, salvaging a sword would give you iron or other ores, salvaging a cloth robe would give you cloth, etc. Map completion. When you finish a map and get every Vista, point of interest, heart, hero point, and waypoint, you get a big treasure chest as a reward. You can see that one of my items here was a transmutation shard. This allows you to change the appearance of one item into another to maximize how fabulous you look. I recommend saving those until higher level because your gear will change a lot during the leveling process. Your story quest. Occasionally you will get more story available to you and get more green text in the top right of the screen. When you are ready, go to the indicated spot and you will zone into an instance version of the world and progress your main story. Your background options at character creation, as well as the choices you make during the story, will affect how it turns out. I recommend doing the story steps when possible because the rewards are often great, plus the story is awesome. Weapons. Each weapon plus class combination has different skill sets. You could view those by clicking H and going here. Read through them and see if you like the look of anything. If you, for example, think that axe attacks look like more fun than what you are doing now, you could keep an eye out for an axe, or go to the Blackline Trading Company and buy one from another player. Here, I accidentally sold my starter bow when I was playing with other weapons, so I went to a Blackline Trading Company representative in my capital city and got a replacement. Gathering. After a few levels, you'll be given your first set of gathering tools, a harvesting tool, a logging axe, and a mining pick. You will use these to gather materials you find, typically plants, trees, and ore. Gathering gives you experience and the materials, which you could shoot over to your material storage with the deposit all materials button. Save these up for future crafting and trade skills, and we have a guide on crafting if you need it. On the topic of town, let's briefly mention the bank. The NPCs in town with this icon on their head are the bankers. The bank is account-wide, so you can use it to transfer items between characters. Additionally, there is a material storage tab on the side here. This is where your materials go when you press deposit all materials. By default, the bank can hold 250 of every type of material in the game. Very nice. At level 21, you will unlock your first traits. You unlock these in the same way as the skills with hero points. Once traits are unlocked, you choose which specializations to make your active ones, up to a maximum of 3. Then make choices within those trait trees to further mold your character. The elite specializations at the bottom of the list are tied to the Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, and End of Dragons expansions, respectively. Achievement points. Like many games, Guild Wars 2 has achievement points for doing certain feats in the game. The achievement panel is also in the hero pane. At certain thresholds, you may get a chest of rewards. Here, I received a chest for getting to the 100 achievement points mark, containing an assortment of useful items. And with that, congratulations! You've now mastered Guild Wars 2 and seen everything it has to offer. Or not. Actually, not even close. There is a mountain of information I want to tell you, but I don't want to make this video 3 hours long. What I've selected here is, what I feel, enough to give you a strong start, and hopefully not feel lost. Additionally, I'm available to answer questions every night on Twitch, or you can ask us questions 24/7 on our Discord, link in description. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button to help us out with the YouTube algorithm, comment if you have any tips or tricks for new players that I missed, and subscribe for more similar content. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who keep this channel thriving, and you can become a supporter and earn more videos through the Patreon link in the description. More guides are coming soon, but that's it for today. Happy adventuring!